I am Meg from LovenStamps, and you are watching Maker Mornings with Meg. So thank you for joining me this morning. If you are watching live on Facebook, I apologize for being a teeny bit tardy. Weird connection things with my computer this morning, but hopefully all is sorted out now, and I have some fun things to share with you today. So we have a bunch of technique-y things. We have some brayer technique, we have some blending brush technique, we have some custom designer series paper technique. I think you guys are going to really like this card. And so I'm gonna go ahead and switch our camera down, and we might as well get started stamping. I'll be back today because we're gonna do some work with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is on special in June. So always a bonus there. Okay, so Seaside Wishes is our stamp and die bundle here, and there's a little bit of confusion, so I'm just going to cover this right up front. If you get these pieces, you actually get all 3 pieces here in the bundle that is included in the bundle special in June. Hey Sue, hey Joan, hey Nikki. Sorry for being a little late this morning. You know, connection, all the things. Anyway, these are all of the things in the bundle. So the stamps and then the die and folder come together, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the dies here, but mostly we're going to use the folder and the stamps today. So these are included in that special during June, so you get a bonus 10% off, so kind of like 20%, a little different, but anyway, if you want to do math, we can do math and talk about it. But I'm going to go ahead and pull out some paper here. So we're going to start with a thick white cardstock for our background. And when you're using thick white cardstock or the thick cardstock, you're going to make sure you score that so that you get a nice crimp down the middle. We're going to use a piece of basic black here cut for our background layer. And then I have some layers here cut for our foreground. And I'll show you, remind me, do not let me forget, show you the inspiration card for this that came from my friend Cindy Bauman in Hawaii. So she sent a butterfly card to me that is a really gorgeous version of this. And kind of in her honor, I decided I had to make a Seaside Wishes one because, I mean, she lives in Hawaii, so, right? Hey Kelly, hey Trish. So we have our pieces here. We're going to build our card from the bottom up, and I'm going to start with this background here and just give it a little extra interest here with the Hybrid Embossing Folder. Now, this is one of the ultra thick folders, or the 3D thick folders, so it's going to give you a really, really nice impression. I'm just going to go ahead and pop my cardstock in here, and I'm going to use it without the dies. So in here, there is a die that matches, and it is here. Pull this out. The cool thing about this die is that you can go ahead and ink your folder, or not ink your folder, but it clips in there just like that. It clicks into place, and then you could put your cardstock in, and it would cut and emboss those 3 sand dollars. So really, really pretty. But we're going to go ahead and just use it as a folder. So this is a very much multi-use tool because you can use it both of those ways. So let's pop this over here. Oh, happy pre-Friday. Gosh, it's good to have a pre-Friday, isn't it? Oh. So remember, when you are using your 3D embossing folders here, the sandwich is to use the number 1 plate. So it has that little number 1 there at the corner. And then you're looking at this part of the directions right here. See that one? I'm not sure how great in focus it is, but it actually shows you on the direction platform what to be using. So I'm going to take my folder and embossing, my folder and paper there, and then I'm using plate number 4, which is included with the die cut machine. Die cut machines are also 10% off, so if you haven't already added one to your stamping tools, this is a great time to do it. So let's take a look at what this looks like here. We have our folder now, and we have this really pretty embossed cardstock image. And I don't know about you guys, but I am on a huge embossing folder kick. I barely make a card these days without using embossing. So we're going to take this, fold on our score line, and go ahead and pop down our sand dollars. What did I call those? Did I call them something else before? I'm not sure now. Anyway, we're going to pop down our sand dollars. Now, I really like to use a strong adhesive when I'm adhering the folders like this, or embossed papers, because there's so much dimension to the surface of the paper, I want to make sure that my adhesive is really strong and really gets in all those nooks and crannies. So I really love multi-purpose liquid glue for this. So, all right. Now we've got our background set here, and the, oh, Joan says she's embossing obsessed. Okay, well, for our next trick, we're going to bring in our blending brushes, and we're gonna bring back the embossing folder later, so hang in for that. But we're gonna use our blending brushes here to make some custom background paper. And I have a piece of basic white cardstock. It's about 2 inches wide, and I'm gonna take a piece of Post-it note here. And for this, I really like my Post-it note to be cut very straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this in here, and there we go. Go ahead and cut myself a little bit off the bottom so that it's kind of the custom shape that I have wanted here. And now I've got this here on my scrap paper. You could also use your glass mat for this, would be a great way to go. And then that is crooked after I made my cut straight. There we go. And now my Post-it note piece is not only protecting the cardstock, but it is also holding my paper down, so it's gonna make it a little easier to work with. So when I do this technique, I really like to start with the lightest colors first. And as I'm working, okay, I do have a poll question for you guys. So let me start our poll here. The poll question is, have you tried blending brushes? I'm really curious about this one. So the answers are yes, no, or I've been meaning to try. And I'm super curious to see what you guys think about that. So go ahead and answer the poll there. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can click it away after you answer or before. So I'm gonna start with my small blending brush. There's not a whole lot of difference between the big size and the little size except size. I use them pretty interchangeably. Occasionally I have something that is small and I really like having the smaller blending brush head. But the basic technique is the same for both. So I'm gonna swirl to pick up ink. I'm gonna tap off the excess ink, and then I'm going to blend onto my project with a circular motion. So swirl, tap, blend, swirl, tap, blend. And I'm going to kind of repeat that as we go. So I've got some crumb cake on here for my background. Now you can go on to a different color with the same brush because really it doesn't hold a lot of ink. It really applies it to the paper nicely. So it's not sucking a lot of ink up. But I tend to keep one for greens and one for blues and so forth. So this is soft sea foam. And I just realized in the video description, there's a link to the supplies, and I forgot to put soft sea foam and crumb cake pads on there. So if you need those, just remember those colors. So swirl, tap, blend, and swirl, tap, blend. Now, soft sea foam is a very light color, so it might take a little bit more layering here to, oops, don't do that. A little more layering to get the color as deep as I want it. So let's do a little more there. All right. And then we'll go on to our last color, which is going to be Lost Lagoon. This one I did remember to put in the supply list. So swirl, tap, blend. And the more ink and the darker your cards. Oh, okay. I was like, that's not the right color. So this one has Night of Navy on it because I was just using it yesterday. So we have that weird Night of Navy bit on there. I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna do a really quick catch up to do. So after I just got done talking about using one for blues. So there, we'll get all that Night of Navy out of there. Okay, and come back here with our, now you guys know the refrain. So swirl, tap, and you see I forgot to do my tap there because I was in a hurry. So we ended up with a really dark bit of the crumb cake. That's okay. So if you end up with like a dark spot like that, my recommendation is to just go back and keep layering color so that you can even out any sort of lighter, darker spots. So, all right. Oh, then we're gonna do our soft sea foam. Probably we don't even need to tap off with this one. Oh, I need to check the progress on our poll here to see who's used blending brushes before. You can use them a number of different ways. You can actually use them directly on your stamps, which is a really cool technique. All right, let's just double check this color here before we put it on our project. Yep, we're back to the color we want. All right, so now we have a much nicer blue. Night of Navy was pretty, but it was for a different project that probably see sometime in the future. Now, if you're getting your fingers all inky like I clearly am, remember that your Stampin' Jammy is a great way to clean those sort of in short order so that you're not spreading that. Now, when we take our mask away, of course, we're going to have our cool, I'll just peel this back, white spots revealed. But before we do that, I'm gonna bring in my Memento black because we have this really pretty black cardstock background here. And I'm going to pull a couple stamps here from our Seaside Wishes. We're gonna grab, I really like to do, for these kind of collagey things, I like to do stamps that have different shapes. So there's a little bit of variety of the shape. So I'm gonna pull in our starfish and our sand dollar, and that should do us here. This is a great stamp set with some really fun greetings and lots of cool opportunities. Now, when you're inking with a fabric covered ink pad such as Memento, StazOn would be the other one that we carry, you're gonna use a little different inking technique for your stamps. I like to call it twist, twist, tap, tap. And so what you do when you twist is you're picking up a lot of nice ink onto your stamp, but you sometimes get a weird swirl pattern from that method. So then the tap, tap gets rid of that, okay? So let's go ahead and stamp a couple of these. Twist, twist, tap, tap. And I'm gonna stamp right over my mask because I love to just emphasize this white effect here. And I just realized I did the wrong size starfish. Let's do this little one instead. There's not a whole lot of space left here. So twist, twist, tap, tap. Twist, twist, tap, tap. Twist, twist, tap, tap. Okay. There we go. All right. So now we have our fun backgrounds here. And when I pull this off, we have this really pretty white layer here revealed, except for where I messed up my blending brush. But you know what? It's light, so it's not gonna matter. Okay, so now let's look at layering here on our card. So we have this pretty custom background paper. The nice thing about making background papers like this is that you can customize them to whatever colors whatever colors match your project, whatever you wanna do. All right, so, oh, hey, you guys are blending brush experts. So 82%, let's see, I think I can show you the results. 82% of you have used blending brushes before. So I'm maybe preaching to the choir here, but for the people who haven't used them or been meaning to try, this is a great chance to check them out. So, okay, all right. So now I have my basic black here, and I'm gonna go ahead and layer this. And I cut my layers a little tighter than I often do, just because I really like having just a teeny fraction of the basic black showing. So you can do this by measuring. The measurement is 3/16 of an inch, bigger than your layer. Or honestly, the easiest thing to do is just go ahead and stick your layer down and then just use your paper trimmer and your eye to trim the same amount around it. So that is another method, okay? All right. And then the second layer here is 3/8, I think, larger than the original size. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put this on here, but we have this big white space here, which is gonna be the perfect home for our greeting. And for our greeting, we could stamp one of these greetings here. Sometimes simplest things mean the most. Your friendship is the best gift. Love you. You absolutely made my day. If I was gonna try and stamp this long greeting on this space, I might go ahead and ink just the first part of it and stamp it, and then the second part and put them like above each other, which is another great masking technique. But we are going to instead bring in our Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. And this is one of my favorites. I've been using it a ton lately with our citrus cards, the Mediterranean Bloom Suite. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my brayer here. And my Lost Lagoon ink pad is the one I'm gonna pull for this. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a custom greeting to match our piece here. So ink my brayer, remember always push just forward, okay? Pick it up and move so you're getting ink all the way around. and then apply that, kind of do a little twisting as we go to our folder. Remember that it is super helpful to turn your brayer up. It has these little feet on it. This is the new Stampin' Up! Brayer. It has these little feet, and if you turn the feet up, they don't get in your way. So always helpful tips, right? But when you want to set your brayer down on the table, you can set it down on those feet and have it ready. I think that this is out of inventory right now until the week of July 1st. So look for this to come back soon and just plan to add it to another order. But you don't want to wait till then because you won't be able to get the sale on the other bundles. So, all right, the easiest way to see which things are on the bundle sale is to use the link in the video description to the bundle sale, and it brings up just those items in the online store. So, all right, we're gonna slot our die in there, and then we need a piece of basic white cardstock, and it works best to cut the cardstock. Just if you want to make a page that's going to include all of the greetings. 6 by 6 is a good size. 5 3/4 can sometimes work if you're really careful, but 6 by 6 will definitely cover it. So I'm going to pop this cardstock in here and fold this up. And I'm just going to pinch it. If it slips a tiny bit, it doesn't really matter. It's very forgiving, but for the most part, it works great. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through our die cut machine with the same sandwich as before. And I apologize if you're watching and the video is kind of stuttering in and out. I'm getting weird connection issues. We've had wacko internet at our house today, so who knows what's going on there. All right, but now we've got our folder here cut, and I'm going to bring you back down here on camera. And here we have our folder here all set to go. So when I pull this out, now first of all, this is a little inky, so I just take it to my sink and kind of run it through there. Hey, Maryland. Hello to Vermont. And then the same for the metal plate. It is just a little inky, so I set that up, run in some cool water. You don't really even need soap. And then I just set it up on the side of the sink to dry. So we're going to pull all these greetings out. So you get all, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 greetings at one time, or you could cut your cardstock smaller and cut out just the piece you want. But my strategy is to go ahead and just cut them all, because generally they end up handy later, and then I can pop them into my clear envelope. Let's see, I actually have a whole mess of these stored here in all different colors and so forth. And then they're handy for projects whenever I want them, because there really are some great greetings in here. And let's do, hello is a great all-purpose greeting. So we'll put those in my envelope for later. And we're gonna bring this hello on here. And I love the way this color pops out, the white on white with that just little tiny edge around it. So I'm gonna pop one dimensional there. And then I'm gonna actually take a little bit of edge piece from this dimensional sheet. Remember, don't throw away, once you've used all those little hexagons, keep your dimensionals because they are outstanding. Those edge pieces are really handy for things like this. And now I can go ahead and I'll stick it down at a jaunty angle there. Okay, so we have our fun hello. And now I'm gonna pop in my card again. And I think I'm gonna put dimensionals under this too, just why not, right? We're adding some extra fun layers. And then we have some bling to pop on here. I know you're waiting for that. So let's go ahead and set this down, okay? So there we have our card base set. And, oh, Sue says it's the heat messing with the internet. Yeah, it is really, really warm here today for us. So hope wherever you are, you're staying cool. Or not too cool for our friends up in Canada where it's still snowing. But I have here some flat backed adhesive pearls, and these are the perfect combination for Seaside Wishes. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop a couple of these on. Remember, when you are pulling them off, you wanna make sure that you're either using your fingernail, or I know a lot of people use the edge of their scissors. I'm not this person, so who knows how this will work. There you go. To make sure that you are getting the adhesive dot along with your pearl. You don't want to peel them apart. So Hey, Terry. And let's see, we'll put one more up here. Okay, the scissors method is making me a little nervous. Let me go back to my fingernails. All right. I'm gonna stick it here. We'll put it right there. Okay, so now we have our group of 3 pearls there, of course, because we like to make the most of those. And then I'm gonna come back here with my memento pad. So I'm gonna bring the black from the front into our card again. And I'm gonna just go ahead and stamp some little extra images, twist, twist, tap, tap, here. And maybe one more of this little starfish just for fun. There we go. So now we have sort of that design continued there on the inside of our card. And then of course, any one of these greetings would be a great thing to stamp inside your card because we have this really fun, perfectly finished greeting for the front of our card from our die set there. And then of course you would want to stamp your envelope, twist, twist, tap, tap, and you can pop some fun, extra little stamped images here on the corner of our envelope. This is my favorite place to stamp because it generally doesn't interfere with the post office and so forth. So now if you are mailing these with these flat pearls on, my method would be to go ahead and take an extra piece of cardstock, just a quarter sheet of cardstock, and put it on top here when I slide this into my envelope so that would kind of protect these pearls from coming through. And then probably you're going to want to put that extra surcharge stamp on your card just because of those pearls are considered like a bump, and so the post office charges a little extra surcharge for that. You can usually get an extra surcharge stamp or the stamp for the basic postage plus the surcharge. Just ask at the post office and they'll be able to kind of help you get stamps to make it easy for you to mail those cards in the future. So sometimes you can mail without, but I don't know. I hate the idea of something arriving postage due, so I usually just put the extra on there. All right. Oh, Sue said, never thought to use a black mat for the front of a white card. Yes, it's just a really striking idea. And that reminds me to show you where my inspiration came from. So this is the card that came from my friend Cindy. And she did these gorgeous butterfly colors here with pumpkin pie and real red and crushed curry. And you can see just a very, very similar project here. So totally inspired by her card. And she used the black and white. Now she split hers just a little bit differently. And she put a split in the card. So instead of having this be a card base, so that's still 4 1/4 inches wide by 11. So hers is a vertical card. She scored it here to split. So a score line here and oh no, she didn't. She did score it in half, and then she just clipped off the front here. So it'd basically be like this was your card here, and then you cut away this part, and then you just layer your embossed piece on both pieces. So we could have done something like that, but we didn't. So an easy addition for a card. So very cool. Anyway, so thanks to Cindy for inspiring this. And then she used one of the little brass butterflies there to show that off. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us for a fun technique card that will hopefully take you into your weekend with some ideas for pulling out your brayer and your blending brushes. I'm so glad that so many of you guys are using blending brushes. They're a really outstanding tool. And I hope that this custom background paper idea inspired you. If you're looking for supplies, remember there's a link in the video description, and I appreciate your support of my videos through your orders. And there's also a link in addition to the supplies for this card, there's a link for the bundle sale that's going on in the month of June. So that would be a great thing to check out too, because we are, crashing towards the end of the month. It's a shock here, but I hope you guys have some fun things planned for your weekend, and I will looking forward to see you on Tuesday for another video. Oh, Tanya says, gotta watch the replay because their internet was having trouble. I know, right? It's weird here too. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day and happy pre-Friday to you.